Hello, everybody. Today's lesson is on Blackwood and Gerber, two conventions that will help you with slam bidding. Let's get started. You should have with you your bidding ladder, the one I sent you. Okay. You should also have um, probably the packet I sent you, the PDF I sent you, because I will be referencing certain page numbers as I'm going through this. Now I will present a shortened version of this lesson actually in class. This is the slightly longer version so that you get enough information for you to work through the packet. So let's get started. Blackwood and Gerber are two different conventions that are used to help a partnership determine if they can play at the sixth level in something called a small slam or at the 7 level in something called a grand slam. So why would you even bid a small slam or a grand slam? You are used to bidding game contracts, right? 4-level major suit contracts. You're also used to bidding 3-level no trump contracts. Those are both the levels for the games. 4 hearts, 4 spades, or 3 no trump. Should you ever bid higher than game? Why would you want to do that? Well, it would help us to understand that question if we understood a little bit more about scoring for game contracts. Now, let's just walk through a quick scenario. Let's say that you are in 4 spades. Okay. Now, you're required to take 10 tricks to make your 4 spade contract, but you did better than that. You took 12 tricks. Hooray! You took 2 extra tricks, 2 over tricks. Now, the scoring for that is impacted by the fact that you took extra tricks. The score for 4 spades, but making 6, taking 12 tricks. Well, if you're vulnerable, that score is a positive 680. If you're not vulnerable, that score is a positive 480. That looks like a pretty good score, right? Those are nice multiple hundreds of a positive score. Looks good. But what if you really should have bid 6 spades instead of 4 spades, taking those same 12 tricks? What difference would that make? Do you think you can do that? And what would the difference be in the scoring? Well, if you had bid 6 spades, and it does require you to take 12 tricks, and you make it, because you know you made 12 tricks in 4 spades, so you should be able to take those same 12 tricks in 6 spades. Well, here's the difference in the score, and it's substantial. If you were vulnerable and you were in 6 spades and made 6, your score would be 1,430 points, as opposed to the 680 if you had just stayed at the 4 level, 4 spades, making 6. That's a big difference, isn't it? Huge, huge, right? If you were not vulnerable, your score would be 980 instead of 480. I have that wrong there. Instead of 480, right? So the score difference is huge. When you take the chance of bidding at the 6th level, which is a slam level, and you earn the number of tricks you need, then because you took such a big risk, the reward in scoring is enormous, right? Now, if you don't yet understand how what level you bid impacts the opponents and how it impacts your scoring, you might want to go to our website, www.essexbridgecenter.com. I do have an understanding scoring video. There's an orange box towards the middle of our website screen. It's marked Navigate BBO. And inside of there are all kinds of videos about BBO and playing online. And one of those has to do is called Understanding Scoring. It might help for you to understand something about scoring. But your general takeaway from this is here. If you should bid at the slam level, the 6 or 7 level, because you meet the requirements to do so, then you absolutely need to bid at the 6 or 7 level. Because if your hands together, you and your partner hands together, meet the requirements to bid at slam level, the reward you will get in the score when you make it, you can see it on the screen. It's just enormous, right? So let's take the concept of scoring just one little step further, and that is, you know by now that you absolutely want to beat your opponents, right? Those two people on either side of you, you want to make the best possible contract against those two people that you can, right? But actually, the people you really are trying to beat, your actual competitors, while you certainly want to have a good score against these two people sitting right on either side of you, your actual competitors are every other player in the game who is seated in the same seat you are and playing the exact same hand that you are. So for instance, if you and your partner are sitting north-south for the entire game, then your true competitors are every other pair that is seated north-south in this game, because they're going to see exactly the same board you see, exactly the same hands. They have to make the exact same kind of thinking process and decide at what level to bid each contract, and then hopefully play it to make it. And really, when you're compared at the end of the day with the final score, you are being compared against every other person who's in your same seat. So if you're sitting north and south with your partner, you are being compared against every other north-south who played the same hands you did, and that's how you actually get a final score for a day. Now, we'll talk more about that extension of how scoring works in a separate video. I'm not going to talk about it right now. But if you are seated north-south, you need to bid better and then play better than every other north-south in the game. And that's how you come out on top at the end of a game. So let's talk about this concept of slam bidding. You and your partner should bid a slam, and I said a little earlier that the slam level is the 6 or 7 level. You and your partner should bid a slam when you have a certain number of points together, added together, and you have a certain number of aces together. So let's first of all talk about the points. For a small slam, and that's a 6 level bid, 6 clubs, 6 diamonds, 6 hearts, 6 spades, even 6 no trump. For a 6 level bid that you actually make in the auction, you have to have figured out that you and your partner have 33-ish points together. Now, I didn't put the ish here, and I'm going to, because I think the ish matters, which you'll see in a minute, okay? I think the ish matters. You and your partner need 33-ish points together to know that you've got enough points to be able to take the majority of tricks, because at the 6th level, you're going to have to take 12 tricks. You can only lose one trick. And you know what? Very often 32 points are close enough, because there's another component to this piece in a minute that we'll talk about. But the first component is the points. You and your partner have to calculate that you have at least 33 points-ish together. Now that's for a small slam. Let's talk about a grand slam. A grand slam is when you bid on the 7 level. 7 clubs, 7 diamonds, 7 hearts, 7 spades, 7 no trump. You have to take, first of all, you need 37 points as a minimum. And then you have to take all 13 tricks. You cannot lose a single trick. All right? Now, you and your partner should also consider bidding slam, not only when you have a certain number of points together, but you also must have a certain number of the aces in the deck. Now, how many aces are required in the partnership together to bid slam? In a small slam, that's the 6th level, you must have 3 of the 4 aces, in addition to that 33-ish points. Now, having all 4 aces, beautiful. But you're only required to have 3 of the 4 aces in addition to the 33-ish points. And then you could bid on the 6th level. Now, if you were going to go to the 7 level, a grand slam, you need a lot more. You need 4 of all 4 aces. And you must have 4 of all 4 kings. in addition to your 37 plus points. So for you to bid on the 7 level, you need to basically cover every trick. You need to have all the aces, all the kings, and so many points in your hand that the opponents have what? A queen in their hand, maybe? Okay? So you need to have points, you need to have aces. Now, sometimes the opener is the first person to consider that they may have slam. Now, here's one way that might happen. Let's say the opener starts with 17 to 20 high card points, right? So they're a high, medium, or a maximum opening point count. And then the responder comes along, and on the responder's first bid, and sometimes on it happens on the second bid, but the responder hand really indicates that they have basically an opening point count to go with your 17 to 20. Well, if the responder's sitting on 12, 13 points, and you started with 17 to 20, we are over 30 points, aren't we? So at that point, the opener, if the opener is the one who sees that, the opener should be the one to start thinking about this concept of slam. But sometimes it's the responder to consider slam first. And I find, and I think you'll find, that often it is the responder who realizes it first. And how that might work is that a responder starts out, they open up their hand, they look at all their points, and they count all their points, and they're already sitting at 18, 19, 20 more points opposite an opening point count, right? If I make an opening bid as your partner, you know I have 12 to 20, and you assume I have 12. If you're sitting on 18, 19, 20, well, we're over 30 points now again. And so you would be the first one responder that might consider slam. So we've said a small slam is 33-ish points and at least 3 of the aces. And yes, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but there is math involved here. Yes. So you have to understand what partner's bid means. You truly need to understand that whatever partner just bid indicates a point count, and you need to know what that is, right? You have to take whatever partner's indicated points are, add them to your own points, and then figure out if you got yourself to 33-ish points. Now, one of the other things I sent to you this week, along with the PDF and this link to this video, in addition to a bidding ladder, I sent you the help sheets, the cheat sheets for our Bridge 1 and our Bridge 2 groups, because I think there's information that you need sort of at a glance that will help you with this. And one of those things is understanding what your partner's point range is when they make a second bid, or even when they make the first bid, but more when they make a second bid. Maybe that indicates where your partner is in a particular point range, and that's going to be different whether they're the opener or whether they're responder. Okay, so you might want to just glance at those 2 handouts that I sent you, because certainly in the Bridge 1 handout, you'll see the ranges for opener and responder. In the Bridge 2 handout, you will see information on how to bid 2 club openers and 2 no trump openers, which are going to come up a lot this week. All right, small slam, 33-ish points, at least 3 of the aces. To be honest, I like to start investigating slam when I think the partnership is 31-ish points, because number 1, it might be enough. And number 2, usually when my partner makes a bid that then sets me thinking, ooh, maybe slam, my partner's bid isn't telling me 1 point. Like one number in a point range. My partner's usually telling me a range of points from this number to this number, and I won't know whether partner's at the lower end or the upper end. And if she's at the upper end, then yeah, we've got 33 points. If she's at the lower end, we might not. So you're going to make decisions about whether or not you should investigate slam when you're not absolutely positive you're at a dead 33 points, okay? That's especially true if you have found a fit in a trump contract, because remember, you have leeway of distribution points there. So sometimes I investigate slam when I only have 31 points, because again, it might just be enough. And number 2, I may not know the exact number of points my partner is showing me, I may just know a range of points. All right, so at this point in your bridge career, these are the two options to investigate whether you should bid at the 6 level or even the 7 level. And they are two new conventions for some of you. They're called the Blackwood Convention and the Gerber Convention. I'll spend most of my time talking here now on the Blackwood Convention. It is the one you're going to use most often. And then I'll spend just a little bit of time on the Gerber Convention. It is a convention you will use, but not nearly as often. So, how to bid a slam. We're going to just focus on the small slam. That's the 6 level slam. At the very end of this, we'll talk briefly about the grand slam. But to be perfectly honest, when you and your partner are bidding in this auction, most of the time, you're only going to bid a small slam. The number of times you're going to bid a grand slam are going to be so small. Okay? So, you and I are partners. We're bidding in this auction, and one of us figures out that we have about 33-ish points. And that partner has to start thinking, oh, I bet we could bid and play on the 6 level. Now, that particular person, the one who has done that figuring out, is the person who's going to use these Blackwood or Gerber conventions to further investigate slam, right? So you and I are partners. We're doing the bidding, and we're adding up what our partner just said. Partner's last bid tells you a range of points. You have to memorize those point ranges. So partner's last bid gave you a range of points. That gets you thinking, if I add that range to what I have in points, oh, look, we're at 33-ish. I think we might be able to play on the 6 level. And I'm the one who knows that. I'm the one who just figured that out. I'm the one who used Blackwood or Gerber to start investigating. So Blackwood and Gerber are the techniques. And since we have just figured out that we are at 33 points. Remember, the other part of this is that in addition to points, you must have at least 3 of the 4 aces to play on the 6 level. So Blackwood and Gerber are the techniques that we're going to use, the conventions that we're going to use to ask our partner how many aces partner has. That's what you have to do. You've counted the points together. One of you has figured out you're in the 33-ish point range, and that's the person who has figured that out, who then takes the next step of using Blackwood or Gerber to ask partner, gee, how many aces do you have? I'll add your aces to my aces. If we get at least 3 of the aces together, then we can play on the 6 level. Okay? Now, is there some special code, some special convention, or something that tells you it's time to ask for those aces? Nope. Again, and I can't say this enough, there is no special hint that says, yes, I should go ask for aces. Nope. The hint is, what did my partner's bid just mean? How many points did my partner just tell me he has? That's the hint. This is math, pure and simple. Sorry about that. But this is the reason why understanding opener's rebid, opener's second bid, and responder's second bid is so crucial. And in this current series that we're studying in Bridge 3, we are going to spend quite a number of weeks just on opener's rebid, second bid, and responder's rebid, second bid. I consider them the meat and potatoes of all of basic bridge. I consider it the linchpin of understanding everything else there is to understand in basic bridge. Okay, so the hint about whether it's time to ask for aces, well, you had to do some math. You had to understand what your partner's bid meant in terms of points. You had to add those points to yours. And then if you figure out you're at 33-ish, that's your hint to start asking for aces. All right, so Blackwood. Let's talk about Blackwood first, because it's the one we spend most of our time using. You're going to use the Blackwood convention to ask your partner how many aces he has. When the two of you have determined somehow that you're going to play in a trump contract, a suit contract, you're going to use a trump suit. You found a fit. So how does this work? Blackwood is used anytime at all, that your partnership has bid any suit whatsoever in an auction. Now that applies to when I've opened one heart and we find a heart fit, and one of us then says, "Ooh, I think we have slam. I'll ask for aces." Okay, we found a fit in a major suit. But it also applies in the following situation. I open one no trump. You bid Stamen, asking me if I have a 4-card major. I have a 4-card major and I show it to you. We find a fit in our 4-card major. We use Blackwood because even though the Stamen convention, 2 clubs, was a convention, it was still a suit that you plucked out of the bidding box. Okay? You bid a suit even if it had a conventional meaning. So anytime that we show a suit during the auction, we'll use this Blackwood convention. Okay? Now, it is the partner who has done the math, figured out that there's 33-ish points together in the partnership, that bids this Blackwood convention. So let's talk about how we do this. The Blackwood bid is 4 no trump. Notice we've zoomed right past 4 hearts and 4 spades. We're not playing in a game in the major suit at this point. We've driven right past it. 4 no trump. Right? This is the Blackwood bid. And when you bid 4 no trump, you are asking your partner a question. And that question is, how many aces do you have, partner? Okay. Now, your partner has to respond with an answer to the question. And this is where it gets sticky. Because you either have to memorize these, and you will over time, or this is where the bidding ladder I asked you to make sure you had out with you comes in handy. The responses to a 4 no trump question by your partner go up the bidding ladder in order. The next bid up the bidding ladder from 4 no trump is 5 clubs. And if you were to answer your partner's 4 no trump bid with 5 clubs, you would be telling your own partner, okay, I'll answer your question. I will tell you how many aces I have. If I bid 5 clubs, I have either 0 aces or all 4 aces. Now, in theory, if you've asked the question 4 no trump and your partner says 5 clubs, you should be able to tell the difference between whether or not partner has 0 aces or 4 aces. How can you tell the difference? Well, if you have any aces at all, your partner cannot have 4 unless you're bringing your own aces when you play, right? So if you have any aces at all in your hand when you ask the question 4 no trump, and your partner responds or rebids, whatever, 5 clubs, your partner is showing, I have either 0 aces or 4 aces, and you need to look at your hand. If you have any ace at all in your hand, then your partner's answer cannot mean 4 aces. It would mean 0 aces. If, when you bid 4 no trump, your partner responds 5 diamonds, in Blackwood, that means your partner's showing you 1 ace in her hand. If she responds 5 hearts, we're on the 5 level, 5 hearts, your partner is showing you that she has 2 aces in her hand. And if she responds 5 spades, she is showing you 3 aces. Now remember, you need 3 of the 4 aces, right? Now the partner who bid 4 no trump, that's the partner who did the asking for aces. That's the partner who knows either which suit is going to be trump, because they've already calculated that, or even if they're going to return to no trump at some point. But it is the 4 no trump bidder, the one who actually bid 4 no trump, is the one who has the responsibility for deciding what happens next. That's the person who's going to get the partnership to some level of their joint suit, their fit. All right. As soon as your partner, after you've bid 4 no trump and your partner tells you how many aces she has, you place the contract at some level, either the 6th level if you have at least 3 aces, or at a different level if you don't have at least 3 aces, and we will talk about that. All right, so let's go and practice some Blackwood hands and put some of this information together. I'm going to example A on page 5 in your packet. South is going to be our dealer on this hand, 22 high card points with a 5-card or longer major. Anybody remember the opening bid that South would use in this case? Anybody? Right. It's the two club opener. Now, if you don't remember a lot of information about the two club opener, remember I've given you a PDF that has the Bridge 1 and Bridge 2 help cheat sheets. And in the Bridge 2 one, you'll find all the information, the basics that you need to remember what to do with the two club opener. So, South has 21 or more high card points and a 5-card major will open two clubs. This is an artificial bid. It does not mean clubs, right? Right? It just says, partner, I need you to pay attention, responder, please. I have a mega hand, 21 or more points. I need help in this auction. So I need you to bid something, even if you have 0 points, and keep the auction open so it comes back to me, and then I'll describe more about my mega hand. So, South opens 2 clubs. We go to North. North is the responder on a 2-club opener. Now, North must bid. The responder is required to bid after partner's 2-club opener. 2-club opening is a demand bid for a responder. Now, the most common bid that a responder will make is 2 diamonds, waiting. You are waiting to hear what the big hand is going to say next. All you're doing is keeping the auction open. It does not mean that responder likes diamonds, okay? It's artificial. It says, I hear you, opener. I'm gonna help you. So I'm gonna keep the auction alive. I'm gonna bid something, even with 0 points, so that the auction returns back to your opening hand, and then you can describe something more about that opening hand that'll give me more information. So, responder bids 2 diamonds, waiting. Now, both of these are artificial bids. Neither one of them has given a lot of information. The 2-club opener, all that responder knows about partner's 2-club opener is that she's got 21 or more points. That's all she knows. Opener, looking at responder's 2 diamond bid, basically doesn't know anything. 0. Doesn't know what responder has yet, okay? So now we're going to move on to our first real bids in this partnership. The auction returns back to the opener, South, and the opener is going to really show her shape. South should now bid the 5-card major. It's the first indication of where the cards are in the 2-club opening hand, all right? She should bid 2 spades. There's no jump here. She's just bidding spades at the same level that they've been bidding at. And it's just like when you open 1 spade, you're showing the shape of your hand. You have at least 5 cards. That's all South is doing now. She's bidding 2 spades here, same level as the level she opened. She's showing 5 or more cards in her spade suit. South doesn't need to jump. She's already told partner that she has a mega hand. Now, we go back to North, the responder. Responder processes the opener's rebid information. Responder now knows that the partnership has a fit because North has at least 3 cards to go with South's at least 5 cards. So there's an 8-card fit now. Responder knows that. And responder can add 1 distribution point for the diamond doubleton. And North is now at 12 total responding points. North knows that South had 21 or more points. So North's 12 plus South's 21 or more, we're in slam territory. We're at 33. And North, the responder, is the first one who knows it. So North is the one who has to figure out what to do. So since North is the one who knows the partnership has 33-ish points, North wants to find out if the partnership has at least 3 aces. Okay? It's time for North to bid for no trump Blackwood. South, how many aces do you have? Now notice down here on the left, South did not bid any level of spades. Doesn't have to. Doesn't have to at all. Okay? There's no need to show the spade fit first. North, you're the one who knows it, and now you're going to be driving this auction. That by bidding for no trump right now, you are saying to your partner in South, look, I'm in charge. I'm in charge here. You don't have to worry your head about whether or not we're going to play in spades. I'll worry about that. So you don't have to show any kind of spades here. In fact, you should not bid for spades. Do you know why? If the responder now bids 4 spades, after the opener's first real bid of 2 spades, it would be saying, yep, we have a spade fit. Yep. But this auction's over right now because I only have enough points as a responder for us to have a game. I have nowhere near the points we would need to have slam. So I'm going to bid 4 spades, and this auction ends dead right now. Well, that's not what you want, North. You want the auction to keep going. There is no reason that you have to bid spades. Just bid 4 no trump, North. That sets the progress in motion of finding whether or not we can play at the 6th level. So North, because you're the one bidding 4 no trump, you are now in charge of this auction. South is going along for the ride, is going to do what you tell her to do, or is going to just answer your questions. So along those lines, South, you have to answer the question. She just asked you a question using Blackwood. How many aces do you have? South, you look at your bidding letter. On the bidding letter that I gave you, right? Take that out and look at that. So they go up the bidding letter from 4 no trump. That's how you know what the answers are to Blackwood. 5 clubs is the next bid up from 4 no trump. And that would show, if you answered 5 clubs, that you had 0 or 4 aces. Now, your partner, the one who asked 4 no trump, should be able to tell the difference. I mean, after all, if your partner who bid 4 no trump has even 1 ace in his hand, you cannot have 4 unless you bring your own aces, right? So that would, in that case, that would indicate you had 0 aces. But if when your partner bid 4 no trump, your partner was sitting on no aces and you bid 5 clubs, then probably you're at 4 aces. Why do I say probably? Because in this case, North asked for aces, already knowing the partnership was in the area of 33 points. You can't get to 33 points without any aces, all right? So 5 clubs is 0 or 4 aces. 5 diamonds is 1 ace. 5 hearts is 2 aces. 5 spades is 3 aces. So North has bid 4 no trump, asking South to answer the question. What is South's answer? Well, South should bid down here 5 spades. 5 spades says she has 3 aces, and she certainly does, looking at the hand. Yay. Now, North, remember, you're in charge of the auction. You're the one who's going to place the contract. You now know the partnership has 33-ish points together, and you already knew that or you wouldn't have asked for aces. You also now know the partnership has all 4 aces. You only needed 3, but you have all 4, and that's very, very helpful. That's incredibly helpful. So the partnership has points, the partnership has the required aces, and now we can bid a small slam. So North, that is your job. You should bid 6 spades here on the 6th level in your suit. So North bids 6 spades, very, very happy in the knowledge that North is not the one who has to play it, right? South becomes declare in this 6 spade contract, because if you look over here, South bids spades first as the opener after the 2 club opener. So South is our declare in 6 spades. And that's a big risk, right? Going all the way to the 6th level is a big risk. It means that you have to take 12 tricks. You can only afford 1 loser. All right. But the thing is, with big risk comes big reward. You saw earlier that if you bid 6 and you make 6, you win an enormous number of points, maybe even over 1,000 points. So it's worth taking the risk if you have 33-ish points and you have at least 3 of the 4 aces. Then you have all the right goods to bid on the 6th level. All right. Now let me just give a note to the opponents here. Let's say that if South is in 6 spades, that means West is on opening lead, right? Now West, if you have an ace against this 6 spade contract, West, lead it on opening lead. Lead it, even without the king, doesn't matter. When the opponents are in a 6th level trump contract, suit contract, and you're the opening leader and you are holding an ace. Now, on this hand, North and South have all 4 aces, so that's not going to be the case. But there are going to be plenty of times when North and South go to the 6th level as a bid, and they have 3 of the 4 aces. So one of the opponents has an ace. If it's the person who's on opening lead, lead it against a trump contract, against a suit contract. Look, you might not get it if you don't lead it. So that even without the king, just make sure you win it. Because what's going to happen is North and South have so many points, so many face cards, so many honor cards, that they are going to be they're likely to be able to maneuver the hand however they want, and they can void themselves in the suit in which they don't have an ace. They're going to work on that very diligently. They're going to get rid of all their cards in that suit so that you never get to win your ace. Don't let that happen. Don't let it happen. If you're the opening leader and your opponents are in a 6-level suit contract, 6 clubs, 6 diamonds, 6 hearts, 6 spades, and you have the missing ace, the one they don't have, lead it. Even without the king, it doesn't matter. Just lead it and make sure that you don't let them take 13 tricks by not leading it, okay? All right. Let's go to example D in your packet. That's on page 5. Much of the time, it's the responder who's the first person to realize that there's a slam point potential, but occasionally it is the opener. And so let's look at a hand where the opener is the one who knows first. South is our dealer. South has 12 to 20 high card points, has a 5-card major. South is going to open the standard 1 level, 1 spade. All right. So now the auction goes to North. North, you have a spade. You have a 3-card spade support for your partner in South. Yeah, you have a spade fit. North, you don't have any distribution to add, but you're already at 12 medium / invitational responding points. You are an invitational responder. So North, you should bid the invitation to game. You should bid 3 hearts. All right. Now, South, you now know there's a spade fit. In your opening hand, you add 2 distribution points for your club singleton. And now your 19 high card points reevaluate to a total of 21 opening points. And your partner in North has just told you that the responding hand has 10 to 12 responding points. Now, let me just take a sidebar here. For those of you who may be coming to this information, this is the first time you might hear it, we at Essex Bridge Center, as of this year, have basically shifted the ranges for a responder because it's what the field out there in the world is doing. So a responding set of point ranges is now 6 to 9 as a minimum responder, 10 to 12 as a medium or invitational responder. Okay, so that's what we're using here. And so when opener, South, says 1 spade, and when North then jumps to 3 spades, South is thinking, well, my partner is showing 10 to 12 responding points. I have 21 opening points, which means we are very, very, very close to slam, right? If my partner in North, my responder, has just the 10 points and I have 21, well, that's 31. But if she has 11, we're at 32. If she has 12, we're at 33. So we're all around the slam 33-ish points. And I don't know where she is in 10 to 12, but we're so close to that 33. I'm going to ask for aces. Because if asking for aces doesn't get us to where we need to be, if we don't have enough aces, I will have an escape hatch. So if I'm down here on the left and I'm South, my next bid, I'm not going to show anything else in spades. I don't need to. I just bid 4 no trump. I'm just going to ask you for aces right now, right? If you're on the bubble, many players will just go ahead and ask for aces because, as I just said, there's an escape hatch. There is an escape hatch if you don't have enough aces, and we're going to see that in a minute. So North has to answer the question. We're not going to see it on this hand. We'll see it on next hand. North has to answer the question. North, you've been asked, how many aces do you have? North has 2 aces. North's answer is 5 hearts in Blackwood. And that says, I have 2 aces in my hand, thank you for asking. And South is hugely pleased because here's what it means. It means that North's just revealed 2 aces and South's 2 aces means the partnership has all 4 aces. And that means that any opening lead by the opponents can be stopped on trick 1. South knows that he's going to be able to win the early reasonable trick 1, and that's huge in letting South get started on basically running rampant through all the 4 suits and taking all the winners that he can take. All right, having all 4 aces is extremely helpful. If when you bid 4 no trump, asking for aces, your point count was on the bubble-ish of 33 points, and you were unsure, having all 4 aces means you can stop every suit. The opponents can't even try and run anything against you on trick 1, and you get the lead right away, and then you can get to work. So this is now the tricky part. All right, at least it is for me. South You're the one who bid for no trump. Your partner gave you an answer, 2 aces. You're the one, because you bid for no trump, you're the one who has to place the contract. But I find the hardest part of this, and seriously, it's serious problem for me. I have to remember what our suit is, right? I mean, what was the fit in for the partnership? It's spades, isn't it? Right? I mean, you got to be careful, because if you look at responders bid here, you just saw them bid hearts, but that was an answer to Blackwood. You just saw an answer to Blackwood that was hearts. Don't lose your don't lose your thinking here. You have to bid spades now. So you know, South, that your partnership has at least 33-ish points. You know you have 4 aces. Yay. You're going to bid on the 6th level. You should go to 6 spades to place this contract. So you got to remember that spades is your partnership suit. Okay? Now, let's talk about a problem that sometimes you encounter when you use the Blackwood convention, or even the Gerber convention, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. So let's say that you have bid for no trump. You were asking me for aces, and I answered you. But in my answer, you realized that our partnership did not have at least 3 aces. We had 0, 1, or 2 aces. Well, that's a problem, because you absolutely cannot bid on the 6th level with fewer than 3 aces. You cannot, should not, absolutely do not bid on the 6th level with fewer than 3 aces. Why? Because the opponents have 2 of them. And you know what they're going to do on trick 1 and trick 2? Right. They're going to play their 2 aces, which means since you have to take 12 tricks on the 6th level, you can only lose 1 trick. If you lose 2 tricks right out of the gate, you're down 1. You're already down 1, and who knows how else badly this is going to go if you're very flustered. So you cannot bid on the 3 level if you don't have at least 3 aces. So how are you going to get out of this? Well, in a suit contract, you can generally get out on the 5 level. You bid your suit together on the 5 level, or if your partner has already bid that as the answer, just stay in that contract on the 5 level. That should stop the ace asking process. The auction will end on the 5 level. It's one of the purposes of the 5 level, is for you to get out of Blackwood when it's not going well, okay? So playing in 5 hearts or 5 spades, if you find those contracts, it's generally because you attempted to go to the 6th level by asking for aces, but you found out in the answer you didn't have at least 3 of them. So let's take a look at this hand. This is example C on page 5. South is our dealer with 20 high card points and a balanced hand. Opens 2 no trump. Let's go to the responder in North. Now, responder, your hand can bid Stayman, Jacoby, or some version of natural bidding with either bidding in no trump or even passing. You can pass 2 no trump. You're not required to bid. But just some milestones here, some markers for you. If you wanted to bid Stayman, you must have at least 4 high card points. If you wanted to bid Jacoby transfer, you can do it without any points at all, right? 0. If you wanted to bid 3 no trump, you would need, again, 4 points. That's the game number of points opposite a 2 no trump opener. But North, you don't have just 4 points, do you? You have 12 points, right? You're already thinking about this because you know partner has 20 or 21. But first, you want to find a major suit fit. So you have a 4-card major, North. Let's bid 3 clubs, Stayman. Let's ask South if the opening hand has a 4-card major. Now, South, your job is to answer the Stayman question. North has asked you, do you have a 4-card major? And you have a 4-card heart suit. So you're going to bid 3 hearts now to show those 4 heart cards. We go back to North. North, you know there's a heart fit. You also know that you have 12 high card points because with no distribution, so it didn't change. But South has 20 or 21 high card points. Now, if South started with 21 and you have 12, the partnership does have 33. If South started with just 20 in the 2 no trump opener, you have 12. Your partnership is 32. You are at 33-ish points. But you know you have a fit in hearts. And South doesn't know that. You know it, but South doesn't. So South might have an extra point in distribution. She hasn't counted yet. So you might have been able to move your total partnership point count up a smidge. And so since we're really right at 33, I'm not even going to worry about this. I know we're so close to that 33-ish points But I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to ask for aces if I'm North. I'm going to bid 4, no trump. Again, there is no reason for you to show hearts here, responder. There's absolutely no reason for you to bid 4 hearts. In fact, if you do, you're telling your partner, the opener, the auction's over. There's no reason for us to bid anymore. I have game going points, but not slam. That's what 4 hearts would say now, responder. Don't even bother. Just bid 4, no trump. 4, no trump says, don't worry, opener. I'm taking over this auction. I know what we're doing. But first, I need to ask you a question. So, North bids 4, no trump. South, you must answer the question that she's posing. How many aces do you have? Well, South has 1 ace, 5 diamonds. So it's 1 ace. So South is going to bid 5 diamonds. Hey, I've got only 1 ace. Well, now we've got a little problem, don't we, North? Because North, you only have 1 ace. And if you only have 1 ace, responder, and the opener in South only has 1 ace, I think if I do that simple math, I come up with 2 aces. That's not 3 aces. You are in trouble going to 6. You really, really cannot go to 6. So how the heck are you going to get out of this? Well, what you need to do is bid your suit, your joint fit, on the 5 level and get out of this as cheaply as possible. So looking down here at my responder bid here, I think South needs to bid 5 hearts. 5 hearts says, I'm the one who bid 4, no trump a minute ago. My job now is to place the contract, and you, opener, have to just understand that that's what I'm doing. I'm in charge, and I'm choosing this. I'm bidding 5 hearts because there's no way we should go to 6 hearts. So I'm getting out of this. I have remembered what our partnership fit was. It was hearts, and I can get out of the 5 level. Now, the truth is this is your escape hatch, and you can generally get out in 5 hearts or 5 spades because the partner who answered the question bid so low in the Blackwood answers, 5 clubs or 5 diamonds, that you can still get to your suit on the 5 level, okay? So now we go back to South, and South, here's the thing. North was the driver here. North was the one who asked for no trump. North was the one who decided what was going to happen next, and North decided. It was on North's shoulders. North decided to get out of this at 5 hearts. And you need to respect that decision, South. So South, your job is to pass. And you're going to play in 5 hearts. Phew, because there's no way with missing 2 aces that you can make 12 tricks. Okay? All right, now I'm going to take you to page 9 and example F. I know this is where you want to be. This is where all the fun people are. This is where the fantasy and the magic and the glitter are. You want to be part of the in crowd, don't you? Yes, it is time to talk about a grand slam. All right, but we're only going to talk about this a little bit. You're not going to bid many grand slams in your bridge career, and you're not even going to see any hardly from me, honestly, because number one, I make up the hands. You might see one when we play on Wednesday in Shark Bridge. You might even see one on Saturday when we go into BPO, just so that the table sees it, okay? But don't get used to it. It simply doesn't happen very often. But I'd like you to walk through the process. So we'll do on hand F here, example F. Let's walk through the Grand Slam bidding. So Grand Slams are when you bid and make a 7-level contract all the way up to the top of the bidding ladder. Now, what do you need for a Grand Slam? Well, you need 37 points, at least. Yes, you can count distribution if there's a fit. And I know that might worry you a little bit, that maybe it won't be a true enough points, but it usually works out okay. 37 is a lot of points. You know, there are 40 high card points in the deck. Okay? 37 points, including distribution if there's a fit. If there's no fit, there's no distribution. So it'd have to be 37 high card points. In addition to 37 points, so that's the point requirement. It's no longer 33. In addition to that, you have to have all 4 aces. You must have all 4 aces. But let's not stop there. You must have all 4 kings. You must. You absolutely must have the first 8 winners. You have to. So 37 points as a minimum, all 4 kings, all 4 aces, and then all 4 kings. And that's a whole lot of juice your hands together have to have, right? But look, You're saying when you bid on the 7 level that you will take all 13 tricks, all of them. You're going to need a lot of juice, right? So let's look at this hand. South is the dealer. South has 16 high card points in a balanced hand. South should open 1 no trump. That's pretty straightforward, I think, right? But now we get to North's responding hand. Holy cow, North. You've got 23 high card points opposite 15, 16, 17 high card points. North is already getting the abacus out to do all the math, right? I mean, wow. You need your Bowmar calculator. Oh, that's a really old reference, Megan. Okay, try not to tell people how old you are all the time. So North is got to do all this math, because if North has 23 high card points and South has 15, 16, 17, they're already at a minimum of 38 points, right? I mean, look, if North has 23 and South has 15, that's 38. With North's 23, if South is at 17, you've just gotten all of the high card points in the deck, all 40 of them. This is really something. Again, this is not going to happen a lot, but it does mean you are in Grand Slam point count territory. So South is the first one who knows this, and therefore it's going to be, I'm sorry, North. I didn't mean South. North is the first one who knows this. North has to work through this. And right now, what we're going to teach you is to go through the method. As you get to be a more experienced bridge players, you will learn other methods with a hand like this to zip through different processes and not go methodically through the process. But I want you right now to go through the process, because I want your brain to find the slots to drop the files into that are going to need to be cross-referenced, so that when you go down the road and you can learn shortcuts, you know why you're doing shortcuts, you know why they work. So let's go through the process. Let's find out, first of all, can we find a major suit in common? Because North, you've got 2 4-card majors. Maybe South's 1 no trump opener has a 4-card major. So North, your job is to bid Stamen 2 clubs. That's simple, really. I know you're huge in points, but bidding 2 clubs will get you an answer, and then you'll have to bid again. So North, bid 2 clubs. Now, South, you've been asked a question. Do you have a 4-card major? South, you have a 4-card major. You should rebid 2 hearts right now to show those 4 heart cards. Then we go back to North. North, maybe you would have preferred a spade answer from South, but actually think about it this way. South answered in hearts. You do have an 8-card heart fit, right? And if your partner opened with 15, 16, 17, and you're sitting on 23, your partner in South, the no trump opener, has to have points where you don't. You have pretty much every point in the deck. So that means that South's hearts are wonderful, and you don't have to worry about that. And that leaves your 4 amazing spade cards just to win trick, 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 trick. So you do have a heart fit. Just know that that's fine. All right. But in addition to that heart fit, you have those terrific spades as extra winners. North, in addition to that heart fit, you know that you're in Grand Slam point territory. So what are you going to do now? You're going to begin the discovery process to find out, do you in fact have all the aces, and do you have all the kings? So let's walk through this. Your next bid is 4 no trump, North. You've got to find out, and I think you're pretty sure you have this, but let's just go through the process. 4 no trump will ask for aces. All right, so North is bidding 4 no trump. Remember, North, you're not bidding 4 hearts here. You bid 4 hearts, you're telling your partner, we're done. All I have is enough points to take our heart fit to game. I certainly don't have enough points for a slam. So you just bid 4 no trump. You don't have to bid the suit. And that lets partner in South know, I'm taking over. I'm in charge. I am North, the vanquisher of the opponents. So North bids 4 no trump, asking for aces. South, your job is to answer the question. You're being asked how many aces do you have. You look at South's hand. You've got 1 ace. So South's answer is 5 diamonds. I have 1 ace. Now, North is happy with that because North was expecting that anyway, but North's 3 aces now have the 4th ace lined up. It's in South's hand. And now here's the part that makes the distinction. Instead of placing the contract on the 6th level here, down here in the left, North, your job is to find out if you have all 4 kings. How do you ask for kings? Well, it's the same as asking for aces, just 1 level higher. So you're going to bid 5 no trump, North. right? That's just the same thing as asking for aces, just one level higher. So 5 no trump now is asking South, how many kings do you have? South is a little surprised because this doesn't happen often, but you know what, South? You're not in charge of this auction. You're going to do what you're told and answer the questions. So South, answer the question. You're going to bid how many kings you have, and it works exactly the same way as how many aces. If you have 2 kings, that would be 6 hearts, because showing hearts answers 2 of whatever the Blackwood is. So just like you would have answered 5 hearts if you'd had 2 aces. 6 hearts, you have 2 kings. Now, if the partnership, for some reason here, if North figures out right now that they don't have all 4 kings, if South's answer had been less than 6 hearts, suppose South's answer had been 6 clubs, 0 or 4 kings, or 6 diamonds, 1 king. And North says, oh my goodness, we have all 4 aces, but we don't have all 4 kings, then North would place the contract on the 6th level in 6 hearts, and we'd be done. We would not go to 7. But North knows the partnership has all 4 aces, knows the partnership now has all 4 kings, and 38 plus points. North, you got to place the contract at the 7 level. And you have to remember your suit. It's not too hard on this one. You didn't bid spades as part of an answer, which is what tends to throw me off. So North bids 7 hearts. Very exciting, right? Now, yes, dummy is going to be North. The bigger point count hand ends up on the table as dummy. Does it matter on this hand? It does not. Look, you have almost every point in the entire deck. It does not matter which one of you is on the table as dummy. The opponents have what, 2 jacks? They can't hurt you. They cannot hurt you. So it does not matter which one of you is declared on this hand. Pfft, don't worry about it. Wasn't that exciting? 7 hearts. Ooh. All right. The last bit we're going to talk about is something called the Gerber convention. Now, the Gerber convention is another way to ask for aces when we think we have enough points to be at the slam level. And again, that point count, whether you're using Blackwood or Gerber, is still 33-ish points. Now, the Gerber convention is used in a very specific kind of situation. It does not come up very often, but it does come up, and so you should learn it. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it here. The Gerber convention is the bid made immediately, directly after your partner has opened 1 no trump or 2 no trump. Immediately. And that means you are not bidding Stayman, you are not bidding Jacoby as the responder. Okay? And it works exactly the same way that Blackwood does. You are asking for aces because you believe your partnership has at least 33 points to bid on the 6th level, or more than that to bid on the 7th level. So you're going to still use this as an ace asking question convention, but you are not using 4 no trump as the ace asking bid. No, it's a different bid. So let's walk through this Gerber process together. South is the dealer. South has 16 high card points in a balanced hand. South should open 1 no trump. Now, I said the Gerber convention was used immediately after partners opening no trump. North has 18 high card points as responder. North is starting to do the math, right? And one of the things that you should consider is this, that a responder, right after partners 1 no trump opening, will start to think about slam with at least about 17 high card points. Okay? With at least 17 high card points, that's the place where you want to start thinking about slam, because opposite 15, 16, 17, it'll get you to 33-ish. All right? North has 18. So North is already thinking, ooh, we have 33-ish points. But as always, North's job is to think about in terms of finding a major suit fit. But here's the problem for North. North does not have a 4-card major. So North's not going to bid Stayman. North does not have a 5-card or longer major. So North is not going to bid Jacoby. There is no major suit fit to be found here. Because remember, South does not have a 5-card major in a no trump hand. So even those 3 spades in North are not going to find a home with South and make a fit. So North is not going to bid Stayman. North is not going to bid Jacoby. but North has a ton of points, enough points for slam. North, we're going to play in no trump at some level, and you already are chomping at the bit to ask for aces, aren't you? So how do you ask for aces opposite your partner's one no trump opening? The problem with using four no trump is this. If you use four no trump and you don't have enough aces, you have to get out. You won't have a stopping place that's cheap, that's low. You're going to be forced to keep bidding. And if you bid badly, you could end up on the sixth level anyway, if you bid badly. You need an escape hatch. So you're not going to use four no trump as your first bid as a responder to ask for aces. In fact, as you go a little further down the road, you will learn that one no by me, four no by you has a very specific meaning. It actually is related to slam bidding in a way, in a specific way, but it does have a very specific meaning that you would need to understand. So we're putting that on the side. We're not going to use four no trump to ask for aces immediately after partner's one no trump opening. Instead, when you don't have a 5-card major responder and you don't have a 4-card major, you're not bidding Stayman, you're not bidding Jacoby, but you are going to play some level of no trump, and you think you have enough points to bid slam, you're going to use the Gerber convention, and here's how it works. The Gerber convention uses the 4-club bid to ask, how many aces do you have, partner? It works a lot like Blackwood. It works really just like Blackwood. It just starts at a different place. Now think of it this way. When we talked about Blackwood being four no trump, remember that four no trump was the bid that was right above 4 hearts and 4 spades. We blew past the possibility of bidding game in a major suit in order to ask for aces. Well, you're doing exactly that here with no trump. 3 no trump is the game in no trump. So you're blowing right past that and going to 4 clubs. That's the very next bid up the bidding ladder from 3 no trump. So we're going to use 4 clubs as the direct Gerber question. Now notice down here, down below, I did not bid any other suit. I did not bid Stayman. I did not bid Jacoby. That would have been 2 diamonds or 2 hearts for Stayman. It would have been 2 clubs. It would have been 2 clubs for Stayman or 2 diamonds or 2 hearts for Jacoby. I didn't do that. I went to the 4 level. I am bidding Gerber. 4 clubs. How many aces do you have, opener? That's what you're asking. And South, the opener, must answer the question. Now, the answers to Gerber work in a very similar way to Blackwood in that they go directly up the line, up the bidding ladder from the 4 club question. So 4 diamonds would be 0 or 4 aces. And yes, if you've bid 4 clubs to ask how many aces and your partner says 4 diamonds, you're supposed to be able to tell whether she has 0 aces or 4 aces. Or she's going to come back and say 4 hearts, 1 ace, or 4 spades, 2 aces, or 4 no trump. I have 3 aces. Thank you for asking. This is not a Blackwood bid. You've already asked for aces using 4 clubs. In this context, 4 no trump is just an answer to that question, and it says you have 3 aces. All right. So South, you have 1 ace. Your rebid here to show how many aces is 4 hearts. Thank you for asking. I have 1 heart in my hand. All right. Now, we go back to North. North, you got to put that information together. You already know you're at 33-ish points, and you just asked for aces. If you didn't get the answer you wanted, if South had said 4 clubs, 0 aces, or 4 diamonds, 1 ace, and that wasn't enough to get you to 3 aces, if it only still left you with 0, 1, or 2 aces, you would want to stop this train from going to 6 no trump. You would have to get out at a low level, and that low level would be 4 no trump that you would bid right here. And that would be if you knew you did not have 3 of the 4 aces. You could get out on the 4 level. Isn't that beautiful? By bidding 4 no trump now, your partner would respect that, at which she would not think it's Stayman because you already asked for aces using 4 clubs. The bid that your partner makes immediately after the ace asking bid is the placement of the contract. If you bid 4 no trump now, we'd be saying this is where we're playing. But the good news is that North, you wouldn't have been able to do that if you used Blackwood 4 no trump to start with, right? because your partner would have had to answer, you would already be on the 5 level. So North, you don't have that problem, thankfully. You do know the partnership has at least 3 aces. You do know the partnership has 33-ish points. And you do know that you can now play on the 6th level in no trump because you never found a fit in a major suit. So you should place the contract at 6, no trump. Alrighty, and South, the opening no trump bidder, gets to play this contract. All right, so where does that leave us? Let's just summarize a little bit before we go to class. We are talking about using conventions to ask for aces, okay? And we're using those because we think that our partnership has achieved 33-ish points between the two of us. And when we have that many points together, we think we should be playing at a slam level. And really, primarily, we're talking about small slam, the 6th level. 33-ish points is the magic number for a small slam. And so when you have achieved 33-ish points, you also then need the second part of the requirement, which is to have at least 3 of the 4 aces. So the way you find out if you have at least 3 of the 4 aces is to use either the Blackwood convention or the Gerber convention to ask your partner how many aces he or she has. So let's talk about Blackwood first. You use Blackwood anytime you've introduced suits into an auction. All right. That even means that if you've opened 1 no trump and your partner bids Stamen 2 clubs, and I say 2 hearts and we found a hard fit and you want to ask for aces, you're going to use Blackwood, even though I opened no trump, because you didn't immediately ask me for aces. We went through a process of bidding suits to find out if we could find a fit. And so even though Stamen was conventional, it was still hitting a suit in the bidding box. So anytime you introduce any suits for any reason into an auction, we use Blackwood, okay? Now, the partner that bids Blackwood, the player that bids the Blackwood, all right, is in charge of the auction. And that partner will then, on the next bid, have the responsibility of placing the contract after hearing your answer to the question she's asked. So, you and I are partners. You think we have 33 points together, or at least in that area. You should ask for aces, 4 no trump. How many aces do you have, Megan? I'm going to answer your question. I'll bid 5 clubs if I have 0 or 4 aces, and you should be able to tell the difference based on how many aces you have. Or I'll answer 5 diamonds, I have 1 ace. Or I'll answer 5 hearts, I have 2 aces. Or I'll answer 5 spades, I have 3 aces. Then you, because you're the person who bid 4 no trump, will listen to my answer, put it together with what you have. If we have at least 3 aces to go with your already calculated 33-ish points, then you take us to the 6th level in our suit. If you know already after you hear my answer that we have only 0, 1, or 2 aces, we don't have 3, you've got to get us out in our suit on the 5 level, okay? That's Blackwood. Remember, we have to have at least 3 aces. This isn't going to work on the 6th level without 3 aces, all right? All right, let's look at Gerber. Gerber is used as the very first response immediately after a 1 no trump or a 2 no trump opener. And it's used when responder does not have a Stamen bid to make, does not have a Jacoby bid to make, isn't going to find a major suit fit because they don't have long suits in the majors. And therefore, the partnership will play in some level of no trump. And if the responder immediately does the math and says, oh, we are at slam, because remember, it's going to be responder's job to know this. The opener is going to have 15, 16, 17 points, and it's not going to change. So it's going to be up to responder to have at least 17 points opposite a 1 no trump opener, or have at least 12-ish points opposite a 2 no trump opener, and no major suit to explore. Your very first response will be the Gerber convention. You're going to explore how many aces the partnership has immediately after your partner's 1 no trump or 2 no trump opening, and that will put you, responder, in charge of the auction. You will have the responsibility of placing the contract. So let's say I've opened 1 no trump. You bid 4 clubs as your very first bid, your very first response. You are asking me how many aces do I have in my no trump hand, and I'm going to answer going up the line from 4 clubs. If I come back with 4 diamonds, I'm telling you I have 1 or 4 aces. If I say 4 hearts, I have 1 ace. 4 spades, 2 aces. 4 no trump is 3 aces. It is not a Blackwood question. You've already asked me the question by bidding 4 clubs. 4 no trump in this context is simply an answer to that question. 3 aces. So the partner who bid Gerber, all right, if that was you, responder, then you're going to listen to my answer. If we have at least 3 aces, you're going to bid 6 no trump. Okay? If we don't have at least 3 aces, then the beauty of using Gerber is that you can then correct straight over to 4 no trump, stay on the 4 level, and we stop this auction at the 4 level. We don't have to go to the 6 level. We get to play this in 4 no trump, okay? So if you have questions, I want you to feel free to send them to me, but before even class day, okay? So now I want you to go back and work on your packet. I want you to work through all the answers that you can, all right? So again, send me emails. Here are your dancing goats for the day. And I guess I'll see you on class day. All right. My strongest suggestion is I'm going to ask you to watch at least 30 minutes of this video because I am going to shorten the lecture for class and I'm going to really shortchange the very beginning. So make sure you're looking at the first 30 minutes of this video. Okay. All right. I will talk to you soon.